now is where I get to drill 2 fucking holes in the truck. All right, so part of our mount tech testing of these device holders was that we just threw the radio head unit in here. But this is really not meant for that. And you can see the back of the 5100 here has 2 threaded holes. They even mark in it. Looks like M2.6 by 5. So I'm going to make a plate. You might be able to buy something like this, but I'm going to quickly design and print a plate that grabs these 2 points and then offers a feature in the center for one of our mount tech ball mounts. So I'm going to go take some measurements and design that so we can get it printing while we work on other stuff. All right, so got a version of kind of a 2-bolt mounting feature here. It's similar to our 2-bolt base that we're using for the Mount Tech standard balls. So I'm going to get this queued up on the printer. I'm going to try printing it out of a new material, which is a carbon fiber reinforced material. And I got a couple of calls, so hopefully by the time I'm done, we'll have a nice part in order to bolt this up to a Mount Tech arm rather than to use a clamp. So light. All right, so it turned out pretty well. This is carbon fiber reinforced PLA. So I didn't actually buy this. They sent it with the machine. It's like a little sample roll, but it's cool. Feels kind of light. Has like an interesting texture. I gotta go tap this with 1032 threads. I'm gonna fuck this up. It'll take me 38 minutes to make another one. I think you even know like how many inches of filament it uses. So you got 1032 threads in here. Now I'm going to go grab a Mount Tech ball and a screw and bolt it on. Spin lock feature fits nicely there. Be a little careful with these threads. Yeah, we'll try it like this. The only thing I could see changing potentially is if I wanted to be able to mount this, if you imagine like this is the edge of the dash, if I wanted to be able to mount it lower, I could adjust the design of this to offset the ball to the top or even frankly to the sides to move this however I want. All right, so I've had, this is the antenna mount from Bulletproof Diesel. They were kind enough to send me this for my 2018 Raptor years ago. And it's been floating around ever since, but it's sat in a box and this gasket is a little bit deformed. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slice it like here and then replace this stretch so it's one continuous piece around the top edge. All right, so this looks better. I feel better about that. Let's go put it on the truck. All right, so we got the factory light, which of course includes the backup camera here, off. So I'm gonna mate this up because I think I may need to trim a little bit on the light here prior to installing the antenna mount on here. Let me like shove a zip tie down here. Oh, there we are. So I got a zip tie threaded through here. I'm going to attempt to tape the antenna connector to the zip tie, which I probably could have done before fishing that zip tie down there. That wasn't too hard. Let's see if that helps pull this through. Drill through the truck body. Okay. Okay, now is where I get to drill 2 fucking holes in the truck. 3/16. Go right through there. Make sure this all still plays nice before I start drilling things. So we've got the mount attached to the truck body, but that's just screwed into these plastic clips, which is fine if you're just attaching a brake light, but if you have an antenna hanging off of here, that is the reason that we had to drill through the body, and we're going to put this aluminum bracket on the back side and then bolt into that with these socket head cap screws. All right, so we've got the Bulletproof Diesel third brake light antenna mount here, all fully installed. We drilled it out. We got the support bracket back here, so it's super solid. I'm gonna go ahead and reinstall the factory light, and then we'll route the antenna cable and get the rest of the radio installed. All right, you wanna grab that antenna? Looks like we did it, right?
Yeah.
All right, so this is the existing rear passenger seat, kind of behind the seat MOLLE storage panel. What I did is I cut this slot a little deeper here because these two mounting features are a little bit different on these newer trucks. We need a little bit of a standoff, so I'm hoping I can do just exactly like that, bolt through these spacers here, and then install the top bracket just like normal. So I'm gonna go make an attempt at that. Slides up under here. All right, so we got this panel back here. This top area fits perfectly. The bottom, as we mentioned, a couple of little variations there. I do have one bolt in there with a spacer. It's super secure, but we will make a revision to this product and update it so that it's kind of a plug-and-play bolt-in solution for these trucks. So, and now I'm going to go ahead and grab the piece of the radio we're going to mount back here and do that. This, we got Keith over at LBJ Motorsports helped us out with this radio. As you can see, we've already had it out of the box. A lot of instructions, kind of a cheat sheet there. That's cool. All right, so we have the main unit here. This is kind of the brain of the system. We have the controller, which is the screen, which is in the truck right now. We mounted that already. We've got the microphone here. So basically, we're going to mount this, and it comes with a bracket here too. I might have actually bought this bracket separately. Don't remember. Basically, we're going to mount this on that panel that we just installed, and then we're going to run an Ethernet cable, essentially a phone cable, from the back of the truck to the dash, which is where we'll have our microphone and the controller. Those plug in here. And then we've got our antenna port here. And then we're gonna run power also from the engine bay where we set up that Blue Sea fuse block straight back to the radio. So I'm gonna go get this into place and then we'll start running wires. Because I'm not planning to put a ton of other stuff on this panel now, but I might in the future have other controllers or things like that. I'm gonna kind of tuck this over on the side here because it fits nicely. I think I may actually pull this panel out because it's just a few fasteners in order to do that more easily. Essentially, this is what we're trying to achieve. Something like that. So I'm going to basically put it right there. I can tuck all that extra antenna length out behind the driver's side rear seat back.
Okay.
And then plug into here. And then these two control wires, which are headed towards the front of the truck.
They'll go around the
They're going out that way anyway.
Yeah.
All right, so now we've got the controller, the main unit. We've got our fuse box up front, and we've got our antenna. So now it's really a matter of connecting everything. A little bit of personal preference. I've got the data cable and the power cable that came with it. I'm going to see if these are long enough to do what we want. Otherwise, we'll make up our own. I'm also going to kind of do something up in the dash tray so that there's jacks in there instead of wires coming through the grommets. So, but again, at this point, things are mounted, and it's a matter of running wires in the way that you're comfortable with. I don't know what I'm doing.
Looks like you're elbow deep. So this one, you're gonna have to extend a little bit too.
Yep, a pretty good amount actually. I'm trying to avoid pulling a bunch of trim panels and stuff, which maybe is a wasted effort, but I'm also gonna, like, my instinct is to route this behind the panel, but again, to like the serviceability and like accessibility point, I'm just gonna run it across and throw some zip ties on there.
If it was in a visible location, like not behind the seat, I feel like
Then I would tidy it up a little bit more, but
yeah,
that's just me being like picky rather than trying to do it well. All right, so wires pulled through the firewall there. We've got to get this grommet back in place, and then we can finish wiring it up. All right, you want to come over here?
Yeah.
did it pull the grommet closer to the...
You want to see if you can push that, if you can fit your arm through there. If not, like, don't hurt yourself.
Don't lose any bracelets.
Yeah, or lose bracelets. I'll pull that panel out. All right, so these are the wires now. Positive will go to one of these, negative will go to the negative bus there. Tool will save me a lot of time when I was like 17. Just stripping wires with like a kitchen scissors and shit. Built character. I may need to heat them, we'll see. All right, power and ground are wired. Now before I button things up, I'm working on figuring out where exactly I want to run the Ethernet cable for the microphone mount jack. You know, would like to have the microphone mounted over here or over here. And frankly, this is like not super long, but that's okay. But I'm wondering if maybe a plug down over here is the right move. Green, white, blue, blue, white, green. All right, so we got the wiring almost wrapped up. Now we're just gonna do the power into this fuse block. I'm using this just piece of scrap wire to measure length end to end. So I'm gonna go just approximately around here with my negative and pick up this negative point right here. So I think something like that's gonna be good. All right, it's not going anywhere. All right, so we got the cables built for the fuse block to get that powered up. So we're gonna do that. And then we've got the power and ground from the main unit of the radio that we're gonna power into the fuse box. And then we should be all set to power it on and make sure it works. All right, so we're gonna attach the ground here. So this is the negative bus. So all of these 12 terminals here will then be grounded. We have power to the circuit breaker. The circuit breaker's tripped, so there's nothing coming from the circuit breaker to the fuse block yet. I'm gonna hook these up once they cool down a little bit more to here and here. And then we'll move this 15 amp fuse to right here. Flip the breaker.
And give it a test.
And give it a test. All right, so we're plugging stuff in here just to kind of test. We've got the controller plugged into the main unit. I'm about to give power to the main unit, but it will not have power until we go and flip that circuit breaker yet and probably hit the power button. A 40% chance it powers on. I also don't know if there's like a switch or something.
Oh my word. And it's illuminated. I didn't know I had a backlight.
We did it. Great.
All right.
We done good.
Cool.
All right, so this... You're filming. All All right, so I'm installing this again. I'm missing a couple of pieces that I thought were going to show up today and didn't. The little shroud and the two little panel connectors didn't fit the way I wanted them to, and they're not very accessible. So I'm going to try and actually make something that might go on top of the dash mount to mount those. But for now, I'm going to leave the leads just free like this. Well, I'll tuck them away once the dash mount's on there. But other than that, we're going to button it up, go home for the weekend, back at it Monday. All right, so that's all we've got for the radio wiring project that we've been working on. A couple of small things to finish up. We'll wrap those up and we'll give you an overview of that when we do our next build breakdown, kind of an update on the Raptor in a future video. Check back next Monday.